Alright, what's up guys? So yeah, this is a video that I said I was going to make a couple weeks ago during my rev streams, and it's only a little bit late as per usual. You guys are probably used to me uploading weeks or even months late, so this shouldn't be any surprise, hopefully. Anyway, there's two things I want to talk about in this video. One is the fastest 200 in zombies, which happened during that rev game, and second is the title of the video, which is what does Perfect Box do on rev and is it worth it? So first of all, I want to talk about the fastest 200. Now this kind of goes along with the second topic because, as you know, this was a Perfect Box game on rev, which obviously gives you a little bit more max ammos and makes your game a little bit faster. Now I do think that my time, which was 17 hours and 48 minutes, is beatable without the help of Perfect Box. I screwed up my early rounds. 100 time was 3 hours 4 minutes, which is not bad, but considering I got Perfect Box, that probably should have been under 3 hours. So there is already some time that I lost. And then there's the later rounds. I really don't think I did a lot wrong there. Now, for me, the main point where I lost time was 119, I believe, because I'd lost my gun cycle. I thought I was 4 hits in. I was actually 5 hits in, so I hit the gum. I had 2 alchems on me, and I guess what? Got a 1 in 5 chance alchem from the gumball machine straight away. So yeah, I basically missed a full alchem use. At least 1, maybe even 2 if I got lucky. So that's where I lost the majority of my time. I'd say a couple minutes there before 100, a couple minutes, let's say 10 minutes in the early rounds is what I lost in terms of time. Now, if you make that up with just a normal game, you can probably lose about 5 minutes in the late game just because of no Perfect Box, but that brings us to the second part of the video, and that is, what does it do to your game? Now, all the way up to 170 on Rev, there is no ammo issues with or without Perfect Box. Not at all. If you play it right and do your ammo strategy perfect, you shouldn't worry about anything until all the way to like 175 with and without Perfect Box. So realistically, it doesn't really change much before 175. You get a little bit more max ammo, which allows you to spam your ammo a little bit more often. But to be honest, that doesn't save you hours. That saves you maybe a few minutes at most. I was spamming, the last round I actually spammed my single shots on was 170, and I'd say that saved me half a minute in that round. So significant? No, it's not. Now after 170, I actually did some maths for this, so I didn't, my calculator did. Anyway, after 170 is where Perfect Box makes a bit of a bigger difference, because that's when ammo becomes a little bit more scarce and you start to actually go for all of your drops during the round. So if you count bug rounds in, you will get 300 drops in those 85 rounds. Now, that sounds like a lot. Now, when you actually do the math and this is taking a 5 drop cycle. I'll talk about a way you can eliminate carpenters from your cycle, but that doesn't actually change between Perfect Box games and non-Perfect Box games. I recommend doing this in either case, so this doesn't really change the situation here. So if you take the difference, and 300 drops of a 6 drop cycle is 50 max ammos in those rounds. 50 max ammos all the way from 170 to 255. Sounds like a lot. But if you take a Perfect Box game, you get 60. That's 10 more max ammos from 170 to 255. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't, considering if you just you can make it through a full round in the 240s with just 1 max at the start of the round, but obviously that doesn't give you a lot of time. It doesn't save you any time. It is a pretty slow round if you do it that way. Now, what Perfect Box will do with those extra 10 max ammos is literally just speed your rounds up by a few minutes. because if you use your alchemicals later in the game in a way where if you don't get a max on a round, then you use the alchem, you'll simply not lose any time on a non-perfect box game. And that kind of goes back to my point. All that perfect box does is give you a little bit more ammo to spam. Now in the later rounds, this will save you a little bit more time, but all the way from 200 to 226, where I ended up dying, I'll play the clip on the screen right now. It was a very interesting death. I didn't really care because all I wanted was the 200, but I'll probably end up replaying this map just to see what Perfect Box does to your 255 time. But all the way to 226, the game kind of went as I expected because it didn't save me any time significantly. Now, if you look at my 255 game, the 200 time there was 18 hours 16. Now, that was almost half an hour slower, but remember that the early round times in my 226 game were already 10 minutes faster. So there's 10 minutes already. And let's say Perfect Box only saved, let's say, 20 minutes all the way up to 200. Like, what is 20 minutes realistically? It's not a lot. A lot of people, they say, like, yeah, this will save you hours. Perfect Box, you can get 16 hour 200. No, you can't. All it does is make you able to spam a little bit more ammo in the late game. And in the early game, you can actually save a few more minutes if you're ridiculous with your spamming. Fair enough, but we're talking minutes, not hours. So, with Perfect Box, yes, it is a lot nicer, but it's not worth the restarts because it took me a long time to get. Trust me on that one. So after 200, it's the same principle. You would just get a little bit more max ammos, and that way use your alchems for spamming instead of using it on a round where you won't get ammo. Because if you do it the right way, and here comes my carpenter thingy, if you manage to disable carpenters and hit the gum and be able to tell when the end of the round happens, and then run instantly towards the gumball machine and then run back to the room before the round starts, you will not activate carpenters if you picked up one. And I recommend doing that the round before a bug round, for example, picking up a carpenter, getting back into the room when the bug round ends. You won't get carpenters, and that way it's a 4-drop cycle, which guarantees you a max if you're not on a cycle at the start of the round, which is obviously nice. But again, you can do this in Perfect Box games and non-Perfect Box games, so that doesn't change anything if you look at it that way. Now, that's basically it. Is Perfect Box worth it? If you just want a 255, absolutely not. If you want the fastest 255, honestly, it's also not worth it. My time of 38-34 is very beatable. What I was expecting this game, a lot of people were probably thinking, like, maybe you can get sub 37 this game, like, hour and a half faster. Honestly, I was expecting a 38 flat, 38 hours flat, maybe a little bit faster, maybe 37:45, but that is it. I don't think it would have been any faster. And because the early rounds already scraped off like 10 to 15 minutes, so literally all Perfect Box saves you all the way to 255 is about 30 to 45 minutes max. Might be worth it for you, but it's not worth the hundreds, no, not hundreds of hours, tens of hours of restarts. Yes, it took me 12 hours to get Perfect Box. So I'm just putting that out there. I didn't restart 12 hours in one day. In case you're wondering, what I was doing is I was basically just loading up Revelations for like an hour, playing all the way to the box, and if I didn't get Perfect Box, I'd just restart for a couple times and then go off after like an hour. And I did that for about 2 weeks straight. Every day I'd put on Rev, see if I could get Perfect Box. After an hour, hour and a half, I'd put it back off. So it's probably between 12 to 18 hours of restarts in total for me. Sounds great, right? It's not worth it, guys. Just go for perks. Honestly, that's one thing I did miss, was Cherry. Fuck me, I missed that perk in my 226 game. So here's my final conclusion. What is better? Perks, Perfect Box. I personally thought Perfect Box at the start before I played my 255 on Rev, and now I just gotta say Perks is just better. that is really about it. I do want to quickly say that you don't need perks or perfect box. You can literally, if you don't care one bit about time, you just want a 255. Just get yourself your guns. Just get yourself 4 perks and camp, because all perfect box is and all perks are extra perks are nice. You don't need them. All they are is nice. The extra perks are nice. You know, Speed Cola is nice. Cherry is nice. But you don't need them. You don't need perfect box either. So just pick what you prefer. And that's really about it. So anyway, I hope you found this not entertaining, but hopefully like you learned something about Rev, because this question, like, I've asked this question myself so many times over the years, and now finally that I've played it, I know the answer to it. What is better, perks or perfect box? It was always a debate in my head, like, should I go for this? Should I go for that? Maybe if I go perks. Just go for perks, please. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.